I messed up my relationship by asking my boyfriend to say hi to my unalive mom. Throwaway, since my boyfriend knows my other account. Context. Mom, 50 at the time, passed away a year ago from numerous health issues. We have her cremated and up on our mantle above the fireplace. So my M20 new boyfriend, M23 of 3 months, came over to my house for the first time to spend the night. And to get to my bedroom, you have to walk through the living room, which has the mantle. As we passed by, I said say hi to my mom by force of habit, since it's a thing with my friends where when they'd come over, they'd either find my mom to say hi, or I'd go say hi to my mom. And that didn't stop after she passed away. It just stuck, and they'd go, "Hey, OP's mom." So I say that to him, and he stops walking and looks around. We're completely home alone, and the living room doesn't have the lights on, so he doesn't see her urn immediately. I laugh and point to the urn and just start walking again, but he stops me and looks at me with a half-concerned, half-annoyed expression. I ask what's wrong, and he annoyedly asks, "Why would you tell me to say hi to her? Why wouldn't you tell me she's unalive before this?" And I was puzzled. The topic of her passing never came up in the last few months of us dating. Plus, we'd only known each other for a few months before dating and never got super close. So I didn't think of mentioning it. And I didn't think it was a big deal, so I told him that. He said I was an arsehole for springing my mom's passing on him, then laughing about it. I only chuckled because I thought it was silly that he actually looked around for her. I wasn't laughing at her passing away. I don't know if I'm the arsehole, but maybe it wasn't the best way to tell him about her unalive. But if the lights were on, he would have absolutely seen that the urn was decorated and had fairy lights that we turn on at night. So I think since he was supposed to spend the night, he would have seen it when he got up for water or something. He didn't end up spending the night and left shortly after. This was yesterday, and he texted me good morning today, but hasn't texted otherwise. AITA, relevant comments. OP clarifies this tradition with his friends. Truthfully, I'm not expecting him or anyone, honestly, to keep up with the tradition in any way. I honestly don't invite many people who aren't my friends over, so it was just in my brain from what I and my friends do. I do feel bad for blindsiding him, but I didn't expect such a reaction. On why OP didn't tell him earlier or more about mom. Exactly. My mother has been sick her whole life and my whole life, with an incurable disease, and as a child, I got so used to explaining exactly what it was, how it worked, and all of that. It's exhausting to say, "Yeah, my mom has," and seeing everyone go into pity mode and try to coddle me when it doesn't affect me as badly as most assume it would. And to answer the last part, neither of us have delved into our familial lives. I know he has a sister, and that's really it. I just assume that if someone doesn't bring something up, I don't need to ask about it, and it'll be brought up when or if they want to. I'm now learning that is not how people normally act. Certain topics really just don't come up in conversations, not just with him, but in general with me. When the year mark happened in August, we weren't dating, merely both in the same courses in school, so I didn't go to him about it, but to my friends, so it never came up. You trust this guy enough to be intimate with him, but not tell him about your mom. Strangely enough, this is about the 5th comment I've seen making assumptions about our sexual lives. Strangely enough, I guess to the Reddit community, I'm not super brazen about the topic of sex like I apparently am with Unalive. So we're just exclusive, not intimate yet. Plus, finals have sort of ended any of our energy to do anything but study. I'm reading comments, and they're all going back and forth, but I am understanding others react to passing away way differently than I anticipated. So I understand why he could have reacted how he did. Info. Check in with your mom to see if she was offended. I checked in with her over brunch, and she said she wasn't. I think we're in the clear. Update. Jesus Christ. This has gotten way more attention than I thought it would. Let me clarify a few things. Also, there's a further update on my page. Another clarification since everyone is assuming I invited him over for sex. The spend the night request was not based on sexuality. I'm home alone for 2 days due to other familial reasons, and I'm a generally anxious guy, so I wanted someone home with me. And my friends are out of town for holidays, so I invited my boyfriend over since he doesn't celebrate Christmas and had no plans. 1. I am not expecting him or anyone else who comes into my house to say hi to her. Even my own siblings don't do this. It's literally just something between me and my friends. 2. When I said, I laughed because I thought it was silly, he looked for her. I didn't mean I thought it was funny. I guess my wording was just off. I thought since we were about 4 feet from the urn, he'd see it in his peripheral view. And another thing is that people think I was mad about his reaction. I wasn't. I was just confused. 3. FYI, I'm a guy. I have no idea why everyone thinks I'm a girl. despite the fact that I've had 20M in the first few lines of the post since I posted it last night. And also, being gay has nothing to do with this. In our area, nearly everyone is accepting of LGBT+ people, so it's assumed our parents are as well. Therefore, the topic of parents or family accepting hasn't come up. I've yet to meet his parents as well. 4. And when I say, certain topics never come up, I mean it. I'm sure the other comment I made is buried by now. But my mom was the first unalive I've ever experienced in my family. Sounds strange, I know. My family isn't big, and really the only people who have unalive did so when I was less than 5, so it's not in my memory. And I don't really talk about my family life all that much to anyone. Not because I'm hiding it, I'd rather focus on other topics. Even one of my closest friends didn't know about my mom remarrying until I posted about getting a suit for it. Update post. I'm honestly not sure anyone will see this, as I can't post to the main sub. But here's an update in case anyone decides to check my account. Good lord. That post went viral in the comments, and it just got too long for me to feel like anyone would read an update. I had a long talk with my boyfriend. I showed him the thread, and we read through it together. He felt bad that I was so conflicted about how I felt, and then got berated by many on the internet, even though around 90% of the comments were nah and lots of the jaw were weirdly personal attacks. He said he also asked some friends about everything that happened, so he understands why I posted into the void for advice. I did think about going to my friends, but if we ended up resolving this, I didn't want their opinions of him to change. Long story short, he was initially incredibly taken off guard by my brazenness, which, as a commenter said, I should mention really only happened because I feel comfortable with him to joke around, and I also cope with humor, and this was just part of my routine. If it were anyone else, like someone from our school for instance, I wouldn't have said anything as we walked by, but he's becoming part of my routine, so it just happened habitually. He's allowed me to share this, but he isn't incredibly close with his family, so he would assume someone so close to me's unalive wouldn't be such an easy topic to talk about. But since my mom was sick for my whole life, I knew her unalive was inevitable. But at the beginning of her getting really sick, I had anticipatory grief, so I grieved hard when she was her sickest, and less so but still incredibly hard when she actually passed away. So I dealt with her passing and coped for months prior to getting close and dating him. So I didn't need that support from him, which he's let me know he wishes I had. He also apologized for calling me an arsehole. I told him it hurt, but I still forgive him since in his eyes, it felt disrespectful to my mom to joke. But he now understands that's how my family copes, and even if that isn't how he personally would cope, he shouldn't have gotten upset with me. His parents are both alive, and well, he just doesn't have contact with them. So like many commenters said, family is a sore spot, and I learned the reasons why. He's come back to my house, and we've been enjoying our night together after our talk. And he did eventually say hi to my mom, and even apologized to her for being rude in front of her. I did tell him he didn't need to say hi or anything to her, but he insisted since he felt like an arsehole. Especially after talking with his friends, and while they agreed he was blindsided, this would have just been resolved if we'd had a chat about it instead of him getting defensive. And if anyone was wondering, he didn't text me all day because he was 1. in courses and 2. trying to figure out how to start this conversation with me. But eventually, once I knew his classes had ended, I was the one who texted, asking to talk. So we have resolved our issue. He no longer thinks I'm an arsehole even if Reddit does. I never thought he was one, just that his reaction was incredibly unexpected. But I understand now, of course. Miscommunication happens to all of us every now and again. Thank you for watching the video.